Positive outcomes gives us the motivation to give our clients the best help. Hello, my name is Cameron McGregor, and I am one of the co-founders of Catche Consulting Company. Catche Consulting Company is a company that uses licensed consulting to help companies grow their business. Today, we will be talking about career services. Our focus at the University of West Georgia is to help career service reach a larger student audience. We can do this by increasing career services face-to-face interactions with their students. Career services can reach a larger student audience if they strengthen faculty connections, if they increase participation and exposure, and help to declare student majors and pathways. Next, one of our co-founders, Tanner Howard, will talk about how our company got started.
Hi, today I will be discussing the need for the Career Services Department here at the University of West Georgia. Catche Consulting understands the impact and the vitality of this department on the student body as a whole. We would like to fine-tune communication so that they can better and more efficiently help students across the board, not only in their lives, but also in their future career paths. To understand the impact that the Career Services Department has at the University of West Georgia, we would need to discuss their stakeholders. The stakeholders include the student body population, alumni, faculty and staff, and the university as a whole. They offer various services in the job search transition, including resume building, interviewing, and networking. We can tell that their services provide vast, vital resources for the campus as a whole. Catche would like to merge these communication gaps and better help students and the campus to be efficient and effective. Here at Catche Consulting, we recognize 3 different areas where communication can be more efficient so that it can service our students better. The first area is through strengthening faculty connections. We understand that a major stakeholder is faculty and staff here at the University of West Georgia. Many of these teachers also follow their students throughout their time at the university, so their views are very influential towards students and they do take them to heart. Unfortunately, there are some conflicts with the job search with some faculty and staff. We would like to provide resources and make sure that everyone is on the same page when it comes to helping students. The second way is through declaring majors and pathways for students. It's very important to reach students earlier so that they can have direction and so that they can have the best opportunities and the best services offered from career services. Many of them do not even know and do not know that they not only offer these services, but that they also pay for them out of their student fees. This brings us to our third point, participation and exposure. By giving them more participation on campus and getting them students involved, and by showing the face of the department to students, we can reel these students in earlier and we can establish them sooner in their college careers. These are just a few ways that Catche Consulting can help to merge the communication gap. Thank you. Now I'll turn it over to Ms. Ashton Casey, a Chief Executive here at Catche Consulting, and she will discuss the internal communication. Thank you.
Without effective communication, your organization will never reach its full potential. Currently, Career Services communicates primarily through email. While they offer other contact via face-to-face interaction, phone conversations, and social media, email remains the most prevalent. This chart shows the results of a survey conducted by Success Magazine in which 950 participants answered the question of their preferred communication method. 40% prefer email, while 39% prefer face-to-face interaction. 13% prefer phone, 5% social media, and 3% text messaging. While career services excels in utilizing email as their primary source of communication, they lack adequate amount of face-to-face interaction. And clearly, this is a preferred method as it is only 1% less than the 40% preferring email. While email is convenient and instant, it lacks the personable characteristics that face-to-face interaction fulfills. With an increased presence of face-to-face communication, career services can exponentially improve the relationships between employers and potential employees. Next, Cam, one of our founders and chief advisors, will briefly discuss the aspects of improving external communication.
Thank you. Now we're going to take a closer look at the external communications that the University of West Georgia utilizes. Next, we're going to take a look at current methods of communications that the Career Services uses to externally communicate with their students. First, we have email. Email stood at 60% and proved to be the primary gateway of how Career Services externally communicates with their students. Next, at 25%, we have face-to-face, and that either can be set up through telephone or that can be set up through email, and that proved to be the second best way of communication. And lastly, we have Wolf Watch that stood at 15%, and this proved to be the least used way of communication that Career Services uses. Next, we're going to take a look at the SWOT analysis that I prepared for the Career Services at the University of West Georgia. First is the strengths. University of West Georgia Career Service displays great initial communication by sending out emails to the entire student body to at least get their name out there. Also, student help is superior to the organization. Their job is solely based on helping you find job opportunities centered around your major and helping you get there as young as being a freshman or a sophomore, rather than making you go through this process on your own, or waiting to the last minute to get some help, or to find, somebody that can help push you, or, put you in the right place to attain a job or a career after graduating college. Next is we're going to take a look at the weaknesses. Funding and promoting is very mediocre, and it's poor with hitting the younger age audience, primarily because of email being the primary source of communication. When you first get to college, and I can attest to this myself, email isn't your primary way of communication. You do it through text message, calling, social media. And one of the things that you have to learn as going through college is that email is gonna end up being your primary source of communication. And so Career Services has trouble because, the younger audience aren't up to that level yet. And then that leads to the opportunities of getting the younger people involved by holding more, campus events, holding entertaining events, maybe have, food or get together to get a whole bunch of people out, and then inform them about the opportunities that you provide, and, inform them about why they need to know this now, rather than, just sending them emails and letting them figure it out later on their own. And threats to this is stagnant effort, and getting the younger age involved is if you refuse to do what appeals to others, it might either leave your company on a decline, or it just might stay the same. So if you want an increase, you got to do something different than you've done before.
In conclusion, career services can ultimately expand their businesses by strengthening faculty connections, increasing participation and exposure, and helping students declare majors and pathways. Our recommendations to career services would be to, one, completely overhaul the brand image of the department to target students within their first 2 years of attending the university. Our second recommendation to the department was to redesign the department website. Our third recommendation to the department was to immediately create more opportunities to spread awareness of the services that career services offers. The fourth recommendation is to improve external communications and to heavily market the department and its location on campus. Our fifth recommendation was for career services to hold sweepstakes and competitions for prizes in exchange for utilizing the department services or other career related entries. The last recommendation was that career services should become heavily involved at the University of West Georgia 1101 curriculum or possibly offer a completely separate freshman course. This is all relevant to West Georgia because it will give career services the opportunity to connect more with freshman students and to give freshman students more opportunities to learn all about what career services actually is. A satisfied customer is the best business strategy of all. Thank you. Any questions?
Here at Catche Consulting, we believe in connecting you with better tomorrows. Not only are you being connected with better tomorrows, but you're being connected with better ideas, better communication, and better opportunities. We provide all of our resources and our heart into consulting our companies and giving them the best opportunities available.
I wouldn't say that there was a risk involved with using our Catche consulting firm recommendations, because simply we're just here to, take what you guys do now and just try to better it and give you ideas of, attracting a bigger audience. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily a risk of using it, other than, maybe overcrowding in the office, or, you guys might not be able to schedule everybody that calls because there's so many people. But other than that, I don't see a negative risk coming out of using our recommendation.
You should trust our recommendations because the team that put together these recommendations for you are each skilled in their areas of expertise. We are persistent. We don't give up. We will accept negative feedback and do whatever we can to improve on that. We're studious. We don't stop learning. We're always doing what we can to bring in what's new, what's working, what's not working. And we go further than just seeing the big picture. We also see all the smaller pictures to make that bigger picture better. We have spent a lot of time working on these recommendations, and we definitely hope that they will work for you. Thank you for choosing Catche.